Hey, what is it, guys? So I decided to pick up MARINCESS in my infinite wisdom and not learn how the deck plays, go to locals, and then get 2 and 2. Very bad idea. And that is why I didn't do a video on MARINCESS that week. We instead did the big brain thing, waited a couple of days, actually learned how to build this deck properly, pilot it properly, and we went to do some testing with some friends. And subtracting one matchup against exosisters, we cruise controlled our way to 4 match wins. So that is that's much better than what happened in previous weeks. So good thing is I learned from my mistakes, and I hopefully shouldn't do this again. A lot of the matches, 2 of them were against exosisters. Only one of them I lost to, and that was because I desires away the field spell, which makes it a lot harder to play the deck. And my other exosisters match, it was really easy. Once you pull out a big enough monster, they can't actually really do anything. There was a funny part where I thought of siding into Barrier Statue of the Torrent because they can't out with that unless they draw Michaelis, but we won't talk about that because that's a bad idea. The other matches were against teirelement, Splight teirelement, and pure Splight, which surprisingly enough, this deck does reasonably well against them. I don't know why, because I thought that like only being able to go into a max of my Link 2s would be very terrible, but apparently it's fine, so we'll just accept it and move on with our lives. Anywho, we're going to go into the deck profile. It's not going to be a in-depth version of it. I'm just going to gloss over the ratios, and I'm not really going to gloss over the effects as much. But I will be doing an in-depth version after locals on Wednesday, where I get to test it properly in actual my locals. Hopefully, it'll be about 6 or 7 rounds that I can report back to you all. So into the deck profile we go. So we start off with 3 MARINCESS Blue Tang, 3 Seahorse, and 3 Springo. These are the starters and extenders that you want to draw, because this is the main starter that you want to have in your opening hand, and these are your extenders that you get into stuff. I like the Springirl's effect of Burning in Time, because it's very nice being able to steal a win if you open this and you mill a MARINCESS card, because you can chain block very easily in your deck, so you can guarantee the burn as long as you get very, very lucky with your mills. Then for the non-3-elf MARINCESSes, we play 2 Pascalis, because Nibiru isn't really in the format as much, and you can just freely play this and then go past your 5 summons without having to worry about Bahamut Toad as much, because that was the only thing that really crippled this deck, but now that's not a problem. We play the 1 Sleepy Angel. You have to play this because if you banish your field spell, this allows you to get your MARINCESSes back into your spell and trap zone, which is very, very useful. And that's really all the MARINCESSes that you actually play in the deck. You don't need to play any of the others. I've tested the others, they are terrible, and we don't talk about them. And then we have the hand traps of 3 Ash Blossom, very standard, 3 Baylor, and 3 DD Crow. This originally was actually Nibiru, but I took out the Nibiru thinking that because of Gigantic Splight and because of Winder, we can't Nibiru our opponent. They already have the Winder face up. It doesn't really do anything. Your opponent has to do this. The only way you can really out the Winder with the Nibiru is if your opponent goes Chainlink 1 to summon the Winder, and you go Chainlink 2 with the Nibiru, and then you can kind of have a Nibiru to walk over the Winder, or you have to find some way to basically make them go to summon the Winder as Chainlink 2 with the Nick to actually fully max out, and unless there is some weird situation or your opponent's just dumb, it will rarely come up. That's why I played the Crotas instead, because once your opponents activated their Splight to get rid of Toad, once they've activated the Crow to negate and they activate the Splight Elf to bring it back, you just DD Crow the monster and then just continue from there as if nothing ever happened. That's all the monsters. Then we go into the spells. The MARINCESS field spell, you have to play it. You don't really need more than one. It's difficult to play if you banish it off Desires, but it's still fine. We play 2 MARINCESS Dive. We tested this at 3, and I took it out for one other tech card that will come out later, that will show up later in the deck profile. It's not as good having it 3 because it rebonds the non-links, and sometimes you want the link monsters or you want other cards. So we just keep the 2 dive, and once you've resolved one, because of the Marincesses being able to add it back from the grave, it doesn't really matter as much because it will come back. The 3-sided minings to get to the pieces that you don't have. The triple tactical talents, I play this over forbidden droplets for many a reason. Number one, I don't own droplets. Number two, the free draw 2 is actually very good. Also because of one card that we do play in the extra deck. If you talents take Winder, we can make a very good link monster that only requires one water monster as a material, and the other one can be whatever you want, so that's one way to deal with stuff, as well as just ripping cards out of your opponent's hand. If you've got full combo and you're not really worried about other things, you can just look into your opponent's hand and make it more difficult for them to play. Then the 2 desires, because we play lots and lots of 3-ofs in this deck, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you pray that you don't banish the field spell, it becomes very, very easy. The 1 monster reborn, I play this over the 3rd Marincess dive, because there have been times where I've drawn this and it's just much better than dive, because it is an extender and it just allows me to steal pieces from my opponent's graveyard. There was a time when I tested this against teirelement, where I outed their Winder and did full Marincess board, and then reborn their Winder to my field, and they couldn't deal with it. So fun cards are fun cards. The 1 Call by the Grave, because combo deck, I do go back and forwards whether or not to take this out and play triple Crossout Designator, because Crossout is actually better because it is 3 Call by the Grave, plus you play that many different types of hand traps that Crossout. You will always have a crossout target in your deck. The 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, I learnt my lesson against Eldritch, because if they flip up Skill Drain, I can't play, so we need to have some out to it in some form, and this is my form of it. The 1 Foolish Burial, this is more if I don't open that well, I can go Foolish, send something, and then use Marincess Dive to reborn the extra extender, so it's just extender piece. So we use it mainly for if we only have 1 water monster in hand, we Foolish off the blue tank, then we make the free Sea Angel, get the reborn spell, and then play from there. It's sort of good, it's sort of not. I have contemplated taking it out for maining Dark Rulers, but there are some cards that I would contemplate taking out for Ruler, but for now, this has actually been performing as well as I would hope it would. And then for the final traps, your 1 Marincess Wave, which basically turns your things into a tower, as well as negating stuff, and your triple Infinite Impermanence. We play the Imperm because it's Imperm, and it's better than Veiler. We never side up the Imperm, we always side up the Effect Failures, because Imperm works during our turn, and that's the only reason why we prefer it. That's the main deck. I cut it down originally from 42 down to 40, so it's drawing the things that we need, and hopefully we always draw it into starters and extenders. Then for the extra deck, there is 1 card that I'm missing from the extra, and it's just because I'm going to be getting a secret of it, hopefully. So we play the 2 Marincess Sea Angel. We play the second. I played this originally at 1. It was a bad idea. We play it at 2 because we want access to the spell, and also we need link 1 so that we can actually continue our combos if stuff gets negated. 2 Blue Slug as the other link 1. This one adds the Marincess from the grave back to hand. It's very useful because it makes lots and lots of 1-card combos. Effectively, well, 1 and a bit card combos, but effectively we can link climb up into a lot of things very easily. 2 Coral Anemone. I never read this card's second effect. I forgot that it can actually add Marincess cards back. This is why I was losing a lot of my games at the first week, but now that we have read it, it actually is very good. It's also a reborn for Marincesses, so if we have it as a equip, because of Battle Ocean, we can just get some free stuff off it constantly. 1 Marble Rock. This is very, very funny because we can effectively goes and match our opponent when they've got bad attributes, and then use Marble Rock to make sure that their bad attribute stays on the field, so then it becomes really, really good. But besides that, I don't go into marble as often. It's one of those, if they've broken my board, then I go into the marble rock to continue. One coral triangle, this adds the fields, this adds the continuous trap. And then for the big ones, we play one aqua argonaut and one bubble reef. We don't really need to play more of these. We don't play any other rank 4s in the form of access code because a lot of our stuff locks us into waters, and we can't make the access code if we're locked into waters, unfortunately. And then for the non-MARINCESS cards, we play the one Water Charmer. We played this because I was told by a friend that basically he got Contact Seed at one point in an event, and he didn't have an out to it. Because all the MARINCESS cards require waters or MARINCESSes to make them, so you couldn't out the Contact Seed, and it just meant that you had to play one turn behind. So we play this now, so that if they do drop that on us, we actually have a viable play to get around stuff, as well as because of Splight stuff, we can make this Reborn Hulk, and then go into one of our rank 4s very quickly. We play also one Splash Magician because it is a very good extender. With the one card things, we can link climb very, very easily into the cards that we need. And that's it for all the link monsters. And then finally for the Exceeds, we play the one Stealth Kraken, one Bahamut, and for the proxy for the Dow is actually supposed to be the Toad that goes with this. Unfortunately, I don't have the Toad with me because I got rid of the rare because I wanted to get a secret of it. Bahamut Toad is just to stop any additional hand traps, and the fact that Bahamut is a water means that I can use it as free link material after I've summoned the Toad. And the Kraken is just amazing because you can side into Goes and Match, make the Kraken, and then if your opponent doesn't play back row removal, which 9 times out of 10 they will side out their back row removal because this is MARINCESS and it doesn't play back row, that can just free auto win you a game, as well as free popping constantly, and burning is just very, very good. We don't play any of the Kraken spawns because those are terrible cards and we actually need the space for other things, but besides that, that's the entire deck. So we're not going to go over the side deck because I'm still kind of theorying what could go into it. There are multiple different things that could go into the side, like Nibiru's can still be a good card. Like Nibiru can still be a good card for a side. Ruler's standard because it outs the window, as well as if you're going second and your opponent's got Exos board, it's great. I was still testing whether or not Droll is good, but it might come up. Back row removal, you probably will need to play it in the forms of Twin Twisters or Lightning Storms. Red Reboot is just a standard for a side, and the other ones that I was looking into was Dimensional Barrier as well. Besides the standard of me stating the Goes and Match previously, where it was actually played in one of the YCS matchups, because Kraken Gozen, and also not all the Splight monsters are water, so if your opponent doesn't have the back row removal, you just flip up the Gozen, and on the, I believe, Splight L is fire, so after they've done their full plays, you flip it up on Elf and they're kind of locked into stuff, or at least they don't have a reborn thing, but those are the only things that I was really looking into. More testing is required to figure out which ones are better, but from there, that's really it. So thanks guys for watching as always. Sorry I haven't been posting videos so much, I've just been kind of focusing on work, but hopefully I should be starting to post up stuff more soon, and we should be getting some more content after that. So I'll be signing out now. Peace.